Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So for the second time this week, we're going to be talking about David Jaffe, who overnight essentially has become a lolcow in the gaming sphere because of his unhinged videos blaming what he considers YouTube grifters for the failure of games like Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Now, this is someone who typically garnered a lot of respect from gamers due to his contributions of God of War 1 and 2, but recently, like I said, he's released a series of videos that have drawn, let's just say, a lot of criticism, beginning with this one right here, where, to sum it up, he essentially blames what he considers YouTube grifters for the failure of Dragon Age: The Veilguard. You can see the like-dislike ratio. It is abysmal. What he's saying in this video is just a whole lot of unfounded cope. If you want a full breakdown of that, I reacted to his video a few days ago. I'll put a link to that in the description if you want to check it out. But like I said, essentially his whole point is these YouTube grifters, who essentially are anyone who disagrees with him ideologically, are the reason why games like Veilguard fail, because of the negative coverage of everything going on with the game and also anything surrounding it, like the developers who made it and things they've said online, so on and so forth. However, it seems like he's continued his rampage, his quest to destroy his reputation amongst gamers, with a pair of videos released over the past 24 hours. And we're going to start with this one right here, and we're only going to cover basically the conclusion of the video. I believe, based on context, he's reacting to a series of YouTubers who have been reacting to his previous video, and I think the main one he's reacting to here, because it's the largest one, is Asmongold's video reacting to that previous one. But let's just hear his clarifications, and I want to keep his statements in mind as we go into the next video he uploaded. So let's give this a listen.
Let's just say that you and I, if you are one of those people, we don't agree on the motivations behind why you are seeing more progressive ideas in your media. A lot of people are into this whole conspiracy thing, and I'm just like, that's not what's happening, in my opinion. But yeah, you have a right not to like it. But if you're gonna be cruel about it online and talk about how mean or be mean, talk about mean things about the trans community or the LGBT community, and you can't really back it up, you're just kind of like, I don't want that in my game. Yeah, I think you're a fucking idiot. And
okay, so a couple things to note about what he said. He's pretty much doubling down. The reason we only saw a small section of his videos is because he just talks in circles for 7 minutes. But I think that's the main takeaway, okay? Note the things he mentioned. Conspiracies, as well as being mean to people for really no reason other than the fact you have no legitimate argument. Keep that in mind as we react to his next video, where he goes after YouTuber Vara Dark. Now you can see this tweet here promoting the video. It says, "You don't have to like me and certainly don't have to agree with me, but please don't lie about what I say. And if you're going to try to attack me, please be smart enough to do so. Vara Dark," which of course is spelled wrong, but anyways. "Otherwise, I'll feel like I'm picking on a little kid." So you can see it's like a classic tactic of people who have no argument, right? They attack someone's intelligence. They just say, this person's an idiot. It's like picking on a child, and they have no idea what they're doing. They're stupid. But there's no argument actually presented because they don't have one to counter anything Vara Dark or any of the other critics are saying about his recent takes. Now, the video itself is quite unhinged. And I want to start with this section right here, where Vara Dark points out the fact that David has been very suspect about the events that followed the Trump assassination from earlier this summer.
Do I think Trump's assassination was staged? I don't know, but I'll make a deal with you.
So, verbatim, you just heard. So he thinks what happened back in July of this year was possibly staged. He's not sure if it was staged or not. And this was something he drew a lot of fire for back earlier this year in July, right after it happened, where he said, "At first I was horrified. This isn't near okay as much as I despite the man. But wait, his Secret Service just lets him stand there and do a little bit? Come on, man. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but I mean, what? With his effing head in plain view?" So he's saying he's not sure if this event was staged. Now let's remind ourselves what happened here, and especially if you're an international viewer who's not too familiar with what happened. Back in July, during a rally, Donald Trump survived an assassination attempt where the shooter blew off a piece of his ear. People say he was within 1 millimeter of instantly game-ending his life. And then an innocent bystander, a husband and father, was killed by stray bullets, and many say he was shielding his family from those bullets when he was hit. And then cross snipers game ended the actual sniper. He is not sure if that was all staged, because after it all happened and the shooter was dispatched, Trump got up and said, "Fight, fight, fight." Now, this is a political act of violence, but it's not a very political breakdown of events. That's literally just what happened. And David still, to this day, is not sure if it was staged or not. Trump derangement syndrome in his bubble he's living in has allowed him to become a unapologetic conspiracy theorist. These are the kind of people they would point out to the other side and say, those people are crazy. You're doing the same thing. You're running with conspiracy theories. It's insane. But that's just a jumping off point, right? So let's go back here and see a whole lot of projection about Vara Dark. And as we'll see, pretty much him just painting all of his political opponents onto her.
If you think that's beyond the pale and hard to believe, I don't know, then you guys talking about, hell, going back to Barack Obama not being a citizen, or you guys talking about kids going to school and coming home a different sex.
Your kid goes to school and comes home a few days later with an operation. The school decides what's going to happen with your child.
Do you really want to go toe-to-toe with which political party, Vera, offers up a trough of horse shit? Who's got the most horse shit? I mean, you're not educated enough. You're not bright enough, Vera, to talk to me or to...
So you're going to see a common theme here where he tries to attack her intelligence and basically make her opinion sound like it's something no one should take seriously because he has no argument to present to what she's saying. But anyways, this whole idea that she's saying this or she's saying that, he is just projecting everything he disagrees with onto her, even though these are things she has never said. And she clarified this in a tweet. She has never let anyone know who she has voted for. She has never talked about this issue with Obama and his U.S. citizenship. She has never talked about this whole thing about you guys talking about kids going to school and coming out a different sex. These are all topics she has never talked about. He's just projecting everything he disagrees with onto anyone who dares to criticize him. And let's continue on. He will now start talking about grifting, and he wants to basically clarify his views on what a grifter is. And he's just going to bold-face lie about what he was talking about in his previous video and the perception he was giving when it came to what he believes a grifter is.
I've never defined grifter as that. A grifter is somebody who makes money off people by lying to them. That's what they do. A grifter is not someone who sits in front of a camera and talks about video games, Vara Dark. You just don't know how to do this.
So he says that a grifter is someone who lies to their audience and basically tells them what they want to hear, even if internally they don't believe that. And that is what a grifter is. And that's what I said in my video, my first one reacting to his video. But that's not what he was saying in his previous video. He made it very clear throughout the entirety that a grifter was just someone who disagreed with him, someone who covered video games or anything to do with the industry and had different opinions. He just dismisses all of them as grifters, and now he's trying to say, whoa, 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 I only meant the people lying. Well, first of all, you can't point to anyone who's lying, right? He tries to call Vara Dark a grifter while never proving that she's not in belief of anything she's saying. But this is from his previous video. This is what he was asked, is this a grifter? And this was his answer.
The grifters who hate woke still streamed the game and played it to finish grifting how bad the game was. So yeah, they didn't like it, but played it for views and ad revenue equals a grift, yeah. Avowed.
He says someone playing a game to completion even though they don't like it is grifting. No, that is not grifting. That's doing your research and giving a more honest review. If you want to go after a game and criticize it, wouldn't we want people playing through the entirety of the game? How is that grifting just because you dislike it? At least you're giving it a chance at that point, but it becomes very clear in that first video, a grifter is just anyone who disagrees with him or criticizes the things that he happens to like. But let's continue on here.
You don't know how to do this. You are in that chair, Vera, because of your hair and your face and your gender. And that's fine, by the way. There's no...
Do you see what he's doing there? He's basically implying the only reason anyone's checking out her content is because of her looks. And that's pretty much it. So the guy who's so progressive is reducing Vara Dark, a woman, to simply her appearance. And her opinion just doesn't matter. Apparently everyone is there just for the way that she looks.
No problem with that. I don't deny anyone making money and building an audience off, the things that they've got. But let's be clear. So far, my encounters with you online, you are kind of you're a mental lightweight. And that's fine.
It's so ridiculous. Again, he hears a woman with an opinion and he's just like, well, you're a mental lightweight because I disagree with you. Like, this guy's so woke, he's becoming a misogynist. I mean, many such cases, by the way. But why do they do this, right? Why do they label all of their ideological opponents as grifters, as someone who's only being paid attention to because of their looks, or mental lightweights, or all these things, as he's saying? Well, it's to dehumanize you and basically make it so nobody wants to validate your opinion. They don't even want to check out your opinion because they have these negative views going into it. This guy has no legitimate argument to any point she is making, so he just insults her. It's funny because a lot of the people who are woke in the gaming industry, they constantly talk about YouTubers who criticize them. They say, oh, they're so mean. They're always using these insults and blah, 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 blah. But this is what they do. They have no legitimate arguments to anything. When people point out valid criticisms of the industry, the only response they have is to insult them. That's the only thing they have, and it's pathetic, and it's really obvious. They have no real arguments. They just have insults at this point.
People have all kinds of, what I'm bad at, Vera? I'm bad at math, man. If I was in NASA and they were like, oh shit, the space station's gonna explode. Everybody, we can only solve this by looking at the blueprints and the math and the, geometry. I don't fucking know. Jaffe, get in here. Within 5 minutes, they'd be like, Jaffe, go get the coffee. It's not for you. That's okay.
First of all, who are you to tell anybody what they're allowed to do? This is YouTube. This is freedom of speech. People are allowed to cover whatever they want. Just because you disagree with them doesn't mean they're not cut out for it. Like, at this point, who are you? I mean, really, at this point, you only exist right now to be laughed at. People are seeing what you're saying, and even your own followers, you can go to the comment section of any of these videos, and even the followers and supporters are like, dude, this is not it. Take the L. You're going off the deep end. And that is ironic because now you're telling people like Vara Dark, who have a very supportive community, that they're wrong and that they have no right to be speaking on these issues because they're so mentally inept.
Right. Your voice could literally get Putin to back out of the Ukraine. The Ukraine was a boy band from the 80s. Ukraine. You have about...
What does her voice have to do with anything? Which, by the way, I don't think anyone has an issue with other than someone trying to use that as a way to get angry with her. Like, tell me, what is constructive about talking about her voice? Like, I could talk about your voice and the awkward pauses and the mouth clearing every 2 seconds, but what does that prove? It's just stupid. It's just a stupid thing.
As much mental capacity as a spider that I killed in my shower this morning. It's the goddamn...
Again, that's all they have. This was 5 minutes of just insulting her while calling her stupid and saying that her looks are the only thing people value and that her voice is unlistenable. Like, that is ridiculous. It's obvious you have no counters to anything people have been criticizing you for, and at this point, you've become an overnight lolcow, and it's not worth it. 13 hours ago, 4K views. I'm not trying to view shame or anything like that. This is not worth getting bodied and damaging your reputation in the gaming industry and among gamers. No reason for any of this, but for now, that is the latest set of news involving this situation. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about these topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.